All right, hi guys. Just gonna double check that we're live. Awesome. I'm just gonna get my feed here so I can see everyone. I see we at least have one person, 5 people. Hey Aaron, how's it going? We were just talking about you earlier today. You'll find out why in a minute. Hey Dan, how's it going? Yes, Aaron, that's what it was about. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. I'm just, yeah, everything was fine on my desktop, so. Awesome. Hey Sarah, hey Jennifer, hey Ann. Yes, Aaron, all good things. Well, hey there everybody. My name's Andy Hayes, founder and creator of Plum Deluxe, coming to you live from my back garden since COVID-19 has changed the way that we operate a little bit. Hey Becky, hey Heidi. So there will be some interesting background noises, I suspect. Birds blowing leaf things, hummingbirds perhaps. But anyway, I'm here today for our July Q&A. For those of you who are new to Plum Deluxe, usually once a month, but we've had to miss a few for various reasons. I do a live Q&A where I take questions. I try to give answers. I don't always have all the answers, but I do my best. And so today we have several questions already lined up. So I'm going to go through those first. We post lives in our Facebook page as events, and you can leave questions there. And so Jenna, who is, I guess, our production assistant behind the scenes here, is helping me with the questions, because it's a little hard to see the feed and answer the questions and do all the things. And so she's going to be helping. So if you have a question, it would help us out a lot if you put the words question right in front of your question so we can see it. And they can be about anything. I'm going to talk about iced tea really quick before we get started with the general Q&A. And then, yeah, anything that you guys want to talk about. I did want to say a couple quick things, a couple announcements before we get started. I have a special surprise announcement that revealed here first. So I'll be talking about that in just a second. But I did want to remind everyone that we have a couple of great... hi Jill, I'm glad you made it, Marissa. I wanted to remind everyone we do have 2 really delicious iced teas on sale for $5 this month. Hi Suzanne. We have the Uplifting Coconut Chai, which is just a coconut masala chai. Great for iced tea. I love coconut for iced tea for sure. I don't do a lot of dairy, so I do coconut milk, so it's a perfect combo for me. Hey Jenny. Yes, Sarah, who doesn't love a good spoiler? And then the other $5 tea that we have this month is the dragon fruit herbal tea. If you don't know what a dragon fruit is, that's the one that's kind of pink on the outside, and when you cut it open, it's white with little black flecks. And someone asked me the other day, what does it taste like? And I thought, well, that's a good question. I'm not sure how to describe what it tastes like, but when I thought about it, I would say it's halfway between a pear and a kiwi. Pear and a kiwi. Hey, Patricia. So if you have not tried a dragon fruit tea, that's a great one to try. And this month's a great opportunity because it's on sale. So, also, I wanted to mention to everyone that our tea club's just wrapping up for the month. So if you're not in our Tea of the Month club, it's a great opportunity to get discounts, you get free shipping on all your purchases, and you get an exclusive tea every month. So if you're interested in that, today or tomorrow, we'll let you in and get this month's tea. Of course, during the summer months, the teas are a little more ice friendly and great for just sharing on a back patio. And so you can learn more about that at plumdeluxe.com/tea. T-E-A. All right. let's see. I also wanted to mention, oh, the tea club is worth every single penny. Thank you, Erin. It's a great deal if you do drink a lot of tea or buy tea often, just because the shipping adds up. We don't mark up the shipping. USPS charges what they charge, and so it does save you if you if you do lots of orders. Also, if you guys, I suspect you're following us on Facebook if you're seeing this live because you're on our page. You might have seen Kieran going live a few days ago with a blackberry mojito cocktail and mocktail, and that's because we're celebrating Mojito Week. Thought that would be fun, just given everything going on this year, to try something fun and have a good laugh. And that's a great tea, blackberry spearmint with a hint of lime. I mean, how could you go wrong? So that's on sale, $5 through the end of the week. So that one's wrapping up soon. Dragon fruit and coconut chai are on sale till the end of the month. So you have some time. Suzanne says she's sipping watermelon mint herbal tea. Man, that is a good one for the summer, iced. No one's asked me what I was drinking yet, and so diving into the questions for the day, one of the questions that I was asked was, can you explain why the cold brewed method is better? And so just to give some context, we at Plum Deluxe strongly recommend cold brewing your teas, which means putting 1 to 2 teaspoons of loose tea and cold water in the refrigerator overnight. Loose tea, cold water, refrigerator overnight. It takes about 8 hours, so I just say overnight because it's easier to remember. The reason I like that is especially for white teas and green teas, it's much gentler on the tea and you get a much smoother flavor. But for some teas, it is different. You get a different flavor, hot and then icing it down versus cold. Also, a lot of people are intimidated by trying to make iced tea, and throwing it in the fridge overnight in cold water in a mason jar is pretty easy. So that's why I recommend it. However, I just thought today, I didn't prepare anything, and I got home to get ready for the live, and I thought it'd be nice to have something because it's not a hot day here, but it's stuffy. You know, it's warmer, and so I did prepare something, and coconut milk creamer, so you get the funny consistency. But this is an iced buttery shortbread latte. Oh, it's really nice. I got some of this coconut creamer that's kind of sweet. Too sweet for me, but it's perfect for, you know, certain kinds of lattes. And I hadn't had the shortbread iced in a while. When we do new teas, we try them both ways just to make sure and see what we want to recommend. And this one was pretty tasty, if I remember. Cold, but I wanted to try it again, and so it's quite refreshing. And so for this one, I didn't have the time to make it in advance. And so all I did, and thanks to Kieran for this tip, I brewed the tea just like normal, hot, boiling water. I did the brew time, I think like 7 minutes instead of, you know, I'd probably do normally like 5. So I did a couple extra minutes. And then I put it in a cocktail shaker with ice and you could also just use, if you have like a stainless steel coffee mug or something, it does the same trick. Throw it in there with some ice, get the temperature down really fast, and then pour it over a little more ice because some of your ice cubes will have melted. That's why when I'm brewing it to start, I do it a little stronger than I would normally because it's going to water down a tad. And then you pour it over ice, put your milk in, stir. Boom. You're all set. So there you go about hot versus cold. So the question was, why is the cold brewed method better? And I'm not going to say it's better, because sometimes it isn't, but we prefer it, 1, because it's easier, and 2, because it's a lot gentler on some teas, especially green and white teas. You're just going to get a richer, much lovelier flavor. All right, so now we've went on and on about iced shortbread lattes. I'm just gonna hop through the questions that I have. For those of you who are just joining us, hi there. My name is Andy Hayes, founder and creator of Plum Deluxe. We're doing our July Q&A, where I'm answering your questions about anything tea related or Plum Deluxe related. There's no theme today, so we're just hanging out, talking about all of your questions. If you have a question and you didn't pre-submit it, I have some that were pre-submitted on the Facebook event. Then you can just leave a comment in the feed. If you put the word question in front of it, that would really help us out. Hey Robyn, hey Brenda, great to see you guys. If you put the word question in front of your question, that would help us out. Jenna's collecting questions and going to help me make sure that I don't miss any. We're also doing a little spoiler of something we're doing today, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to answer some questions first, and then I'll do spoilers. And if you have to go and you miss the spoiler, it'll be up on our Facebook page. So let's dive into it. Folks, if you are enjoying our teas, enjoying the lives, please make sure that you share them. You can tag friends in the feed or share it to your own personal feed if you like. If you think we've answered a Q that somebody might find helpful, please do. Hi, Elizabeth. All right, so first up, we had a lot of new decaf blacks come out in May. Hey, Jennifer. And with all the decaf blacks, we had the question, what process do we use for the decaf blacks? Now, a lot of people know all about decaf coffee because to make it, they pour chemicals all over it to leach the caffeine out of the beans. It doesn't sound that appealing. It's not as bad as it sounds, but it's not great either, in my opinion. And so tea is a very different animal, despite the fact that they kind of live in the same aisle in the supermarket, which makes us think that they're similar, and I mean they are culturally for sure. They're neighbors, but we use the carbon dioxide method for decaf blacks. That's the only decaf blacks that we'll purchase, and so that is the gentlest way to remove the caffeine from the tea without really damaging it or introducing sort of weird chemicals or something. Because carbon dioxide, it's just gonna wander away. Hey, Melinda. Hope you're doing well. Robyn is enjoying iced peach popsicle. That sounds pretty good. And Jennifer, you're not late. You're just on time. Nice to see you. Yes, so decaf blacks, carbon dioxide, which means no crazy chemicals, and doesn't affect the flavor of the tea. That said, I just want to make sure there's no confusion. The decafs do taste different. So even though we've done teas that are the same recipe, they're not exactly the same. I would be lying if I told you they're exactly the same. And also tea is a natural product, and so, it does change. It's not always exactly the same. So, Aaron, I'm glad that you enjoyed the decaf blacks. We knew you'd be one of the first up on the decafs, for sure. All right, we have a question. Will Plum Deluxe have Plum Deluxe merchandise, like t-shirts and PD branded mugs? It's something that's definitely on our list, but Corona kind of pushed it to the side. It's very difficult to source a lot of products right now, and so a lot of our effort that we would normally extend to finding new things or things that have been on our list have been put to just maintaining, what we have. It's crazy with just packaging and shipping supplies. Even USPS is not sending us our shipping supplies every month. So it's an extraordinary amount of effort just to maintain the status quo. I think I saw on the feed someone was also asking about the different size options. Yeah, we've made no progress because of COVID-19. Just even today, I dealt with 3 different situations where we were trying to reorder supplies, and there were none to be had. So it's very difficult, and sometimes I feel like it might be getting worse than better. so I don't know. I don't know what to make of it or what to think of it. So that also is why you may see your favorite tea go out of stock now and then. We're doing a pretty good job of minimizing the number of out of stock products, but it's impossible to prevent. It's kind of crazy. Similar to that question was, can you have a Plum Deluxe mobile app with recipes and tea tips? That's the first time I've heard about wanting a mobile app, so that's interesting. It's something for us to consider. We've actually been really busy working on website improvements. We just had a couple go live last night. Pretty minor things, nothing crazy. We moved the ingredients up under the description, and we added, that was actually a request. We did a customer survey at the end of the year, and one of the things on it was back to the top of the page button. Useful on the categories that have a lot of teas, and so that went live. But we're doing a lot of website updates this summer just to kind of improve things. We always trying to improve the website experience, especially these days. We have a lot of people who are new to shopping online. I don't know if you're one of those people who's here listening, but yeah, there's just a lot of people who have never purchased things online before, and the current situation is forcing them to do so, and they're like, how does this work? So we're making lots of small tweaks to just make it a little easier for people who aren't used to getting around on the web to get around. All right, we have question about Cranberry Earl Grey. So last month we had Earl Grey month, which is something we celebrate every June, and we do a lot of limited edition Earl Greys. And last year we had a Cranberry Earl Grey. Hi Sheila. And it was very popular. Unfortunately this year there were no cranberries to be had, if you can believe that. No cranberries. So if there's no cranberries, there's no Cranberry Earl Grey. So we'll see what happens. There is an opportunity coming up for everyone who has favorites that are not available all the time, or they just happened once and they've disappeared forever. And that is Customer Appreciation Month, which is in August. And that's 1 month away. Can you believe that? And what happens in August, for those of you who don't know, is we give everyone in the community an opportunity to nominate and vote for teas to come back forever. And the one that gets the most votes comes back forever. And so pay attention. Last year we did it as a Facebook gallery, I think, and we're going to do something different this year. But if you're on our mailing list and getting our Sunday newsletter, you'll hear about it. No problem. So as soon as August hits, that'll be an opportunity. I also saw Becky had a question. Hey Becky, about teas listed alphabetically. If you just go to Shop for Tea, right at the top, I'm pretty sure in the drop down you can sort by popularity, or newness, or A to Z. So take a look at that and see. Yes, Sarah, Plum Deluxe is all about celebrations. That's kind of where we started, and so we want to stick to our roots. For those of you who missed it, this is iced buttery shortbread with coconut creamer. It's quite delicious. All right. Also, same for this part of the question I just saw at the end of it. Also was asking about a coconut Earl Grey. And there was one last year. Just with everything going on, we were trying to manage the number of Earl Greys available, and there was a large contingent that had to have Picard. So Team Picard won out on the request. So, we were just trying to make sure that we could make all of the Earl Greys for the whole month, because again, it's difficult to get supplies in these days. So hey Joey, I hope you're doing well. We're wondering where you were. Let's see, I have a question here. Um, oh yes, and I don't know what was going on in the background. This is the joys of working in the backyard. It's um, hard to control all the variables. I'm assuming that was a squirrel. This is like squirrel central. And if your cat would like to, the squirrel tends to be. Now I see that there's a bird. The squirrels tend to get into the garden, so if your cat wants to help with that, he or she is more than welcome. Alright, I'm going to keep plugging along. I still have several. We have a hard stop at 40 minutes, so let's see. What are some popular green teas for a person who only drinks black teas? Well, I'll say, first of all, my favorite of our green teas is the Abundance, which is a Japanese green tea with passion fruit. And the reason I recommend that one specifically is because the Japanese green teas are really grassy and light. They tend to brew better if you're not paying attention to temperature and time. So green teas definitely don't want boiling water, and green teas do not want to be left steeping for lots amount of time. So you want to kind of hold back on the hot water thing. And so the Japanese ones tend to be a little bit better for that. Not always, but that one's just a nice, refreshing, great iced. Michelle, who's is our HR team, one woman team. Hey Michelle, if you're listening, her family has Abundance cold brewed in the refrigerator the entire summer. It causes family breakdown if there's not Abundance in the fridge in the summer, and so that's the one I would recommend the most. I think otherwise, just look for like Joey recommends, Queen's Blend, which is a lemon Earl Grey. You know, the thing is, I think really about if you're going to try a green tea, making sure that you have the temperature kettle to change the temp and you watch the time. Or do a cold brew, which I talked about earlier. You know, that's a much better option if you're new to green teas and not as familiar. So, that's my suggestion for green teas. I have a question here for, did you start with ordering tea already mixed, or did you start from the beginning creating your own blends? So I guess I'm a creative person at heart. I like creativity, you know, expressing creativity. And so it didn't make sense to me to just buy other people's stuff and sell it. And that's a very predominant model in the tea world. And I'm not going to knock it for other people. I appreciate that if you are in a small town and have a tea shop and are trying to do tea service and maintain a physical building and have a, you know, wait staff and all of that, blending the tea is not the best use of your time. And so, you know, I totally understand that, and I wouldn't say anybody's doing it wrong if they're doing that way. It's just not what we've chosen to do, and I think that's why we're successful, because we can do kind of anything we want, basically. We couldn't at the beginning, but now we can make whatever we want, really. Given the amount of time and the availability of the things, we can do most anything. And so, you know, so that's my personal philosophy. It extends to things like accessories too. We carry a few things that are just, you know, like those little mesh hearts. There's no reason for us to reinvent the wheel on that. But, you know, we source the gemstones and add them to the string, or on, you know, we were talking a few minutes ago about Plum Deluxe branded accessories, and we've been talking to artisans and craftspeople about doing things that were unique to us. Every year for Christmas, we have someone hand sew an advent calendar for us, hundreds of them. And so it's just part of what we do is, you know, we kind of do our own thing. We just prefer it that way. It makes us unique, makes us different, and it's more fun. And it sounds like you guys enjoy it too. So, so that's the question for that one. I see it's almost 4:30, and so I want to hop over to spoiler mode for a minute. So, a lot of people have been asking about supernatural teas. If you missed it, Jenna posted an awesome teaser reveal about our next fandom. We did the Picard, and everyone loved the Picard tea, which was just one tea. And so we're doing some tea trios for Supernatural. It seemed only logical that a show that lasted 15 seasons should get something a little more substantial. And I'm not going to reveal the teas today. You'll see them on Wednesday next week. Because, yeah, just like to make you guys wait. I'm just kidding. I don't like to make you guys wait, but we're going to reveal them on Wednesday. But yeah, you know, it's been such a journey. I've watched that show. I've watched every episode. So it's so fun to see, you know, kind of where it's gone. And wow, I can't wait to see what they have in store for the finale. For those of you who haven't seen it, Supernatural, it's kind of a sci-fi drama show. And like I said, it's been on 15 seasons, so if you haven't seen it, you have quite a bit to catch up to. But what we're rolling out next week on late Wednesday is 2 trios, 1 caffeine and 1 caffeine-free. And each trio has 1 tea in it that is exclusive to the set, and then 2 teas that are part of our normal lineup at a great price, so you can kind of try some teas that you might not have had before. What I am going to show you today, though, is we do have a new trio already live on the site, which is Elderflower Teas. Ooh. We just put these live about an hour ago. We just have an abundance of some great elderflower, and we wanted to share it with you. And so we've created these trios, which will be a limited edition, just available for the next couple of weeks. And inside the trios, we have the Just Elderflower Tea. We have the Royal Wedding, which is a lemon elderflower black tea. And then Evening in the Garden, which is elderflower rose lemon herbal tea. So 2 herbals and a black. And it is $14. So basically, you're buying 2 teas and you get the Just Elderflower for free. Or if you think of it a different way, if you buy the Just Elderflower, you get the 2 normal signature blends for $5. So it's a good savings if you love elderflower or if you've been wanting to try it. So we've got some cocktails and some other fun things coming up on the Facebooks related to elderflower. I know that Royal Wedding has a huge following, so definitely want to check that out. And so that is, Jenna's going to put a link in the feed, but just before you're finishing your order on the cart page, there is a link to the trios, and it's in the drop down right there. It says Elderflower Limited Edition. They're $14, a black, an herbal, and then the Just Elderflower, which is great for infusions. You can add it to other teas. You can just use it to make a nice herbal iced tea. It reminds me a lot of chamomile in a way, but it doesn't have quite that edge that chamomile does. So we're excited about that. You might be wondering, if you were an Earl Grey fan, where are the Earl Grey trios? We're still just wrapping up from Earl Grey month. It's very hectic. It's probably the most popular Earl Grey month we've had since we've been doing it. We've done it a few years. And so we're just wrapping up from that. And so as soon as we're done, we'll have the Earl Greys up. So I would say those will probably not next week, but the week after that. So maybe a week from next Monday. And so those will have some of the limited edition ones that we still have any left. And those will be limited edition. However many we can make is however many we have. So, all right. Now that we've spoiled the elderflowers, we have a few more good questions here. How can we extract more flavor from your herbal teas? That's a great question. The main things are you want to experiment with tea, temperature, and time, the 3 T's. So tea. experimenting with the amount of tea, and it's not always more tea. Sometimes it's less. And I say that because I often see people have their infuser, and it's just full of tea, like it's just packed in there. And you have to remember, especially for herbal teas, which often have florals or botanicals, they're going to expand in the water. They're going to expand. And if they're held in by an infuser, the water doesn't have enough to infuse with. So you might have too much tea in there. Now you also could have not enough. So, that is a thing to consider too. Also, so tea, time. So a lot of herbal teas have the largest variance on the steeping time, and that's because it's up to personal taste. And so you have to experiment with that. And again, it's about more time or less time. So whatever you're doing, try more. If it's closer to what you want, great. If it's further away, then kind of back up, go the other direction. And then temperature. For the herbals, you're really wanting boiling water. So if you're using a Keurig, if you're microwaving your water, which is a terrible idea, you have a blog post about why that's terrible. It's just not cutting it. So boiling water. That said, we're, in the dog days of summer. Some of us are kind of just still inching our way there. You could do the cold brew. Now, I will say for herbals, if you're doing a cold brew, it absolutely needs the 8 hours, and I strongly recommend overnight. Strongly. That's because just there's so many variables in what is in an herbal tea. Most black or green teas are the tea, the Camellia sinensis, and the one or two other things. And herbal teas often have kind of very different components happening, and so overnight, 100%. Let's see, we got a question about Creme Brulee Oolong, which was featured. We did another, these bags are very popular, and so we're continuing the trend. We did an Oolong bag last month, or was it in May? I've already forgotten. And we had a Creme Brulee Oolong, which was really tasty. So the question is, will it be available in the future or back for a signature blend? It will not, but you can nominate it for Customer Appreciation Month to come back. And whoever submitted this question, I apologize I don't have the names. I'm quite certain you'll have a following if you promote this one. We have no shortage of creme brulee lovers, but we could have a creme brulee tea line and everyone would be pretty happy, I think. So, let's see. Question about another question about Customer Appreciation Month. Have a club member vote too for a club tea to come back. Tons of awesome ones that don't get enough votes because non-club members don't know what they are. That's a really good point. I saw that in the feed, but I missed who asked it. Let's see if I can find it. That is a really good point, and yeah, I think we will consider doing that. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that is a really good point. So we'll put that under consideration, guys. Let's see. While I'm in the feed, I see some other great questions. Wendy's is asking about PD branded face masks. It's a little crazy with the face masks. I mean, I'm not opposed. I'm just not sure how to find them. I will say this: we have friends who do merchandise and thoughtful sourcing in LA. My friends Matt and Meredith, I don't know if they're listening. BoardwalkT-shirts.com. We're good friends with them, and if they can hook us up, then I will order some from them. Come up with a good theme. Let's see. I'm loving the fandom suggestions. Jenna hopefully is paying attention to all these great recommendations. She's she's telling me yes. Jenna is, I guess, the unofficial fandom coordinator. I don't know if that's somehow some subtitle of the community manager job or not, but it's become that. So it's really fun to listen to what people come up with. We've also had some really fun conversations in the team. It's kind of funny. We have some new faces who you'll be seeing on the social media here soon, and they are all pretty young, and so it's kind of funny when we talk about a fandom and they're like, "What's that? Never heard of it." So it's pretty funny. Downton Abbey tea, that would be good. Yeah. Oh, it seems like Downton Abbey's got the most votes. Oh, Micah, yes, Creme Brulee lover, yes. Sorry, I didn't see your name earlier. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, and Joey, I did answer earlier. Joey was asking again about the PD branded accessories. COVID-19 just really has thrown us off our game with trying to source things. But we're gonna try our best. And yes, Aaron, like 20-ounce mugs for sure. And then folks are also suggesting that we start selling the mugs Jenna made in the Uncraft II, which is one of our live series. And so if you haven't seen one of those, if you need a good laugh, Jenna's up for it. She is a comedian, so that's what comedians do for a living, is have people laugh at them. So so that's awesome. Let's see, how are we doing on time? We have to go in a couple minutes. I'm just going to browse through, see if any of the ones still here. I think I've got most of them that I wanted to cover today. Don't forget, we have dragon fruit and coconut $5 teas this month. And then for the next couple of days, we have the blackberry mojito for $5. And Kieran had a great video on the Facebook feed about a cocktail, and it included a mocktail. We're being really conscious of that. So if you see the cocktail videos, we're always trying to make them inclusive, so don't miss those. And then the elderflower, these are going to be here for a couple of weeks until we kind of run out. And they have the just elderflower, which you can use for infusions, you can make into tea itself, the royal wedding, and evening in the garden. Elderflower lemon rose, which is a fantastic tea. And then let's see, one last question before we go. Someone's asking, when does coconut lavender chai go away? That's a great question. The spring teas and the end of August. So you'll see an announcement in August that they're going away. Usually we discount them a bit to make sure we kind of run through our last bit of ingredients. And then September rolls around and we've got fall. That seems crazy. I know it's not just me that's experiencing time differently in 2020. It's never a dull moment. So anyway, guys, that's all for us today. Thank you for joining me here in my backyard with the geraniums and the things jumping through the trees and whatnot. Lawnmowers, I heard, of course, there's somebody mowing their lawn when I'm alive. It's to be expected. So my last question I'll answer. Aaron says, why are you making us wait till Wednesday for Supernatural Teas? Well, we're all having to wait for the finale, so I think it's just that's how we're gonna roll. So thanks everybody for joining us. It was really great to see all the familiar faces. Joey and Aaron and Suzanne and Sarah and Sheila. I really appreciate you guys supporting us and hanging out with us, and just hanging in there. I know that there's been new products you guys have been wanting that have been delayed, and just things out of stock, and we're just doing our best, keeping everything rolling and keeping everyone safe. And so I really hope that everything in your world is the same. You're keeping on rolling and keeping everybody safe. And so anyway, I'm out. Nice to see everyone. We will have another Q&A in August, which we will announce the date for which we'll be talking about Customer Appreciation Month, which always has fun surprises and goodies for all of our favorite people, which is you. And so, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.